very first thing you should always look at is diet.
Yeah.
I would say 80% of all things wrong with people today is due to their diet.
Yeah.
Um, the rest is exercise and, mindset. Actually, I'd say 70% diet, and then you've got exercise and mindset and, a bunch of other little things in there. But it's the quality of the food that you're putting into your body, because that's your fuel and your building blocks, right?
Right.
So if you're not putting good building blocks in your body, you're not giving your body good building blocks to create a healthy body.
Sure.
So over time, if you keep doing that over time, then your body starts to degenerate. So that's why I said you got to realize that now and then start cutting out little things here and there.
Right.
And just little tiny improvements like giving up pop, for example, or soda.
Right.
Depending on what region of the U.S. you're in.
Right.
Like, that's one tiny step, but that makes a huge difference in somebody's health. If they're drinking like 3 pops a day, you take that away and they switch it out with something healthier, like water. For instance. That makes a huge difference in their health. Just that one thing. And then you go to the next thing. See, all these little things add up, and all of a sudden, 20 pounds lighter in a month. For instance, my wife's father, he was just recently sent to the hospital, and he was having like heart problems. He had like heart blockages earlier. He had heart surgery and all this. Well, he was very unhealthy, wasn't taking care of himself. So I had a doctor friend of mine who's an MD who's very natural and holistic also, and I sent him in to talk with him. And he basically scared the life into him and said, "You don't change, you're going to die." And so he came to me. I said, "Do these 3 things: cut out wheat, cut out dairy, walk every day." Well, he started doing that. Within a month, he lost 20 pounds. That's it. That's all he did. Cut out wheat, cut out dairy, and just started walking.
That's fantastic.
He got up to like 5 miles a day, and he loved it. Now he's obsessed with it. He's starting to run. He's joined like a little local runners club, and it's like completely changed his life. Him and his wife have a better relationship now. Him and his family has a better relationship. It's amazing. He's happy. He spends more time with the family now. Incredible the difference that just tiny little changes like that can make in somebody. And he actually just got he went to his MD, and he took him off one of his blood pressure medications. And he also said, "Keep doing this when you take you off more."
Oh, that's fantastic.
And, he was completely surprised that what little that guy did to just completely change his health.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's so powerful. I mean, when I recommend to people that they should walk every day, you get this look like, what? Like that's your magic fat loss secret is to go walk, right? And they're like, "Oh, I want some magical program or exercise or something like that." But it ends up being something like walking. It's so foundational to the way our human physiology was created. It was just to walk. So that's so powerful. And simple stuff like cutting out wheat, cutting out dairy, that can do such amazing things for people's health and fat loss as well. I'm interested to know, do you look at food elimination, or do you look at food quality first? So if you were to look at someone's diet, are you just looking to, hey, let's really up the quality and buy from high quality organic pastured local farm sources, or do you kind of eliminate things first, try to get rid of the obvious bad stuff?
I'm an elimination guy.
Yeah.
Then again, it's case by case. It just depends on how much throwback I get from people.
Right.
But typically, I'm just like, you're having issues, cut out wheat first week, dairy the second week, or vice versa, depending on which one they have the vice with, right? But you just do it. Don't do it all at once. Do one week, then do another one the next week, and just see how you feel. I promise you, you'll feel 10 times better just from those 2.
Yeah, those are the big 2 that I see so many people. I was doing 6 days a week, no wheat, no dairy for a long time, and then about 5 months ago, I eliminated both completely and was shocked at the difference between doing like a cheat day style approach and an approach where it was completely gone. And my skin cleared up. A lot of the inflammation I had in previous injuries disappeared. It was actually a lot easier to maintain my body fat percentage. It was pretty wild. And you don't have to do anything other than just get rid of the wheat, get rid of the dairy. Do you think that's the most powerful nutritional tip you give people?
It is, honestly. It's amazing because it's amazing how it got into our food system anyway, and the quality of the dairy that the commercial
Whew.
is crap. It's all crap.
Yeah.
So it's like it's made to make people fat. There's no nutritional quality in it, which is why they enrich things, right? It's because something's enriched because they've taken all the nutrition out of it, so they have to put some back in. And the stuff that they do put in isn't high quality, so your body absorbs like 0.1% of it or something ridiculous, you know? So I'm very distraught with the the whole food pyramid.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Slash.
terrible. I keep joking with my wife. We should go start a hippie commune. You know, we'll just buy a big plot of land out in the middle of the country and get everybody out there to grow their own food and have everything. Get rid of the TVs and the cell phones and just
I
live the
know.
old school ways.
No, but like for Christmas, like for me, like the last quarter, like this time I took 4 months off just because I got married in October. So from October, November, December, I just hammered myself with baked goods and
Right.
Starbucks every day. I gained like probably 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And in January, I actually stopped. Like January 1st, I stopped doing all wheat, all dairy. And, within the end of the month, I'd lost that 15 pounds.
It's gone.
So,
Just like that.
yeah, I was like, man, Starbucks really did make me fat.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Those sugar coffees will get you, man. Those things are really powerful.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in what you kind of how you approach exercise, because one of the things that we see these days that's really popular is these really high intensity programs and CrossFit style stuff and exotic exercises. And coming from a spine health perspective, I'm sure you have a very protective take on what exercises to include, what exercises not to include. How do you approach that with people, like let's say from a beginner perspective, a little bit more intermediate, and then advanced as well?
I would say, before you start something super intense like CrossFit,
Sure.
I would make sure that you have you've done some core training beforehand, either Pilates or yoga or even more intense, like P90X or even Insanity, something like that before you're like jumping into like CrossFit.
Right.
A lot of people get injured with CrossFit. It's great, but you got to know your limits and your boundaries.
Right.
So it attracts a certain type of crowd that I think pushes themselves so much they end up getting injured. And you see like weird conditions like the rhabdomyolysis where the muscle cells explode, and it's because it's such it's almost like cult-like, I guess, where everybody's like you're in there together, drive, and everybody's pushing for the same goal, but sometimes when you have all that peer pressure, you don't know when to stop.
Right.
So I think that's one important thing. If you're doing any type of resistance training or weightlifting, make sure that you focus on your form instead of how much weight that you're lifting. And this is something that I found out the hard way.
We all have.
I used to lift really heavy, and then with bad form, and I end up starting to get these tiny injuries. And then as you age and you don't let these injuries heal, then they start to become bigger injuries.
Right.
So then you have to go back and retrain your body and slow down your form and drop the weights and lose your pride, right?
Right.
For us guys who are like benching a ton and then slow it down. But so yeah, I mean, focus on your form and do some core stuff before you jump into something as intense as like a CrossFit or even a boot camp.
Right. Yeah, it seems like you put a lot of emphasis on the core, and I call that the amplifier. Like the stronger your core is, the stronger you are, and the safer your spine is, and the safer the rest of your body seems to be. Do you find that kind of true to be true with you as well?
Well, it's the equivalent of trying to shoot a cannon from a canoe.
I love that. Yeah.
Good old Paul Check.
Yeah. You gotta love those guys, man.
But no, seriously though, it's so important. And like whenever I really focus on my core, I feel so much better. And so now every day I'm always throwing in some type of core training with my workouts.
Yeah.
And then even like I do a lot of like weightlifting, but then I'll cycle with, running and sprinting and CrossFit type stuff. I try to cycle my workouts every 6 weeks.
Okay.
So heavy lifting, intermediate lifting, and then, more like core CrossFit type stuff, and then intermixing them. And
that's good. So you just try to keep the spice spice up by doing a
Yeah,
bunch of different stuff and trying
yeah,
to get.
like your body is it's amazing in the fact that it's so adaptive.
Right.
So to get the most growth, you don't want it to adapt. So you need
Right.
to keep throwing new stuff, curveballs at it, and change it up.
Yeah, that's plus it's more fun to train that way. I mean, let's be
It's more
honest.
fun and enjoyable.
Nobody wants to sit there and do the same 3 exercises over and over again, day in and day out. That just gets boring over time. Well, so I'm interested, just looking at what you do in a regular day. So what does Dr. Charles do when he gets up? Like, what's his? We talked about nutrition. We talked about exercise. What are you doing in terms of what you eat throughout the day, and then what you do as exercise throughout the day? What are you doing like right now?